Hello everyone, we're here to talk about the Wellstring 5, but two quick notes beforehand. First off, the video covering Bamboo and Recycle Brella together, figured we'd talk about the Brella and Brella together, and a video on Range Blaster will drop this weekend, because we won't get any information on the weekend, as always with these, and we already know the kits on them. If you're confused what the kits are, or why we know them, please see the main channel analysis video. I talk about it there and give brief thoughts on everything we know so far. But, you know, this is for more in-depth thoughts on confirmed kits we know. So, let's start with this spell. Oh, and before we get to that as well, the stage looks fine on the other mode layouts. The rail you can see over here is really cool, so I'm still pretty excited for it. Still has a bit of an uninkable walls problem, as you can see if you look on the outskirts, but I think still looks pretty solid. Though I don't see people traversing the top of the map. I'm assuming it's possible, but maybe it actually isn't. I don't know. I'm not gonna overthink it right now. If it's not possible to go on the bottom of on the top of the map, the bottom is still large enough to where I think it could be cool, and at least it removes some of the skipper jank. So, you know, that's stuff for another time. I'll eventually do a map review. Let's get into the Wellstring 5. So, I think this weapon's viability really depends on its damage. How many bullets do you need to kill, and how many explosions do you need to kill? If it is 3 for either of these, I think that's really good. If it's 4, I think it will live. If it's 5 for some reason, rip bow players. But I don't think it's 5. I really sincerely doubt they're going to make you need to land all 5 bullets to kill. That feels like it's just asking for jank to happen. This weapon has less range, you know, the same things I talked about in the analysis. If the analysis isn't out yet, it'll be out in a few hours. But, you know, has a little bit less range. This is basically Explo bow. That's what this weapon is to me. It is Explosher bow. It paints a lot better. It has a wider hitbox. It's going to combo with more things, but it has a bit less range, and they're also trying to do the aggressive kit because C-Explo actually worked. Or they probably wouldn't have known if C-Explo had actually worked, but they're probably like, yeah, we gotta try this idea again. And so they did it here. This time it has a stamp and an auto bomb. I think that auto bomb for this is great. It's auto bomb. It's really hard to say much that I haven't said already about this bomb. It locates people. It can do damage. This is a weapon that likes to know where people are, so it can shoot them with a giant hitbox worth of damage. It works. Ultra Stamp, though. Again, this is very clearly meant to be, haha, you rushed me down, now I activate my trap card and kill you. Like, I think the synergy is somewhat there with how they're trying to play the weapon. Like, if this was like a triple splashdown, like the Explo was, I'd be like, okay, this could work. But it's a stamp. And I'm really not sure if stamp is good enough to make this playstyle idea work. Because ideally, this should be the kit you want to use, and we'll get to that later. But I really just don't know. Stamp is in such a rough spot. I think it's going to be a comp-dependent thing, knowing the other kit isn't great either. Like, it's gonna be, if you fight weapons that struggle against Ultra Stamp, you pick the Ultra Stamp one. Like, maybe you're fighting a team with a tent, so you'll pop the stamp so you can stamp the tent shield and then throw it and get your bow back. And that's really the nicest thing I can say about stamp on it. You can just pop it, try to ward someone away, and just throw it. So if the main weapon is really good, I don't think it's that bad the more I think about it. But it's still, like, this weapon paints so much, it would probably get a lot of a good special if it had it, and more not having that is gonna kind of suck. So, we do actually get both kits for this weapon, which means the same thing has probably happened for the Splatana. Though the Splatana is a much better base kit since it has a bomb and bubble on it. Looks like it makes decent sense. But, you know, maybe it'll have something even better on the second kit. Would not be opposed. Considering it's a wave, it could really be anything. It could be a jetpack. We could give it a jetpack. And then you could, like, dash slash away on your landing. Oh, jetpack on it would be so cool. Please, put a jetpack in the game, Nintendo. Please, please, please. Give it a jetpack. We're not going to know for the weekend. But I hope it's a jetpack. Anyway, the other kit is, the other kit is Point Sensor Wavebreaker. And, like, this just makes me sad. I want to talk about Wavebreaker for a second, okay? Wavebreaker is a cool concept for a special. It is designed, like, flawlessly. And look on the weapons it's on. It makes perfect sense for this, perfect sense for this, works fine for this, perfect sense for this, perfect sense for this, perfect sense for this. This is the only one that doesn't really work on it, and if they buff the damage to combo with it, it would work on this. Like, Wavebreaker has had some of the most reasonable kits in the entire game, some of the most synergistic kits. The special design is perfect, but this weapon has one balance change, and it's like bottom 5. Outside of one patch where they're like, hey, let's also make it a mini point sensor, they just haven't done anything to it. And it's like really sad because I think this is also a really good wave breaker weapon. Like, the damage and location makes sense, and paired with point sensor gives it a lot of utility. Like, this is the gun that'll locate everything, and then it'll spray you with damage. That's the idea, and the idea is a really, really good idea. But if we are going to do nothing to Wavebreaker again, then I don't care, because the idea won't actually work. So I'm in this odd spot of, I really like the idea they're doing with this kit, but I'm really worried that they're just going to continue to pretend Wavebreaker doesn't exist. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's on RB, and RB's seeing decent use that they're afraid to buff it. I don't know. But, like, the other Wavebreaker weapons are dying right now. Please save them. Like, this would also save VDS. It would also save, like, Heavy, which is awesome. It'd make RB feel better. And then, like, you know, it might make some of the other ones better. I don't care as much about those. But, like, oh my god, it would matter so much, please. Realistically, though, again, I think the kit's going to depend. If you're fighting stuff where stamp does actually nothing, I think you play this and you have a point sensor niche on top of your own, and you can just throw Wave as an ink tank refill. Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. At least it doesn't take away your gun if the gun is good. But that's the thing. Both of these kits just depend on the gun being good. They are savable if the gun is really, really good. But bows just don't have that great a track record. Like, Reflux is good in Turf, but that's Turf War. In the base game, it's alright. And Tri-Stringer is alright at best. Like, Tri-Stringer with Sprinkler and Chumps has a kit that's better than these two have, and it doesn't see a lot of use. So, like, it really depends. And I love the idea with this. You know, I'm an Explo player. I like Explosher. It's one of my favorite weapons. I really want to like this weapon because this is basically another Explosher, and I really like Explosher. It's fun for team comps, it's a unique playstyle that pushes weapons more aggressively with a lot of range, and it just is fun to have in your comp. It feels like you have a mini burst bomb that pairs with you and paints the whole map. It's so, so cool, and I would love this thing to be another different version of that. But these kits are just half-baked. Because, like, I truly do believe that the kits this season are an improvement. And I do think that even these weaker kits that we're seeing right now are things that make a good deal of sense. But it really only matters if we're willing to buff the pieces. If stuff like Stamp and Wave are gonna get balance changes that make them feel... that make them mid-tier specials, then I think this could work. They don't even have to be that good. They just have to be decent. But if we're not going to do anything with them, if we're going to leave these specials in the spot they've been in, and not change them at all, then I just can't bring myself to care too much. And I just hope the main weapon is cool enough to make it work, but I really don't know. That's my thoughts on the Wellstring 5, bit more faith in the Splatana, but I hope this is good, because again, the concept for this, and the ideas behind the kits are all there. They just gotta do a little bit more balance tweaking to make them work, and I'd really like to see it work. That's my thoughts. Thanks for watching.